Hi, I make videos about spiritual awakening, and if you are there, it's nice to see you. So today I was thinking that I'm gonna speak about, or feeling like I'm going to speak about desire, and what I have noticed on my path, that what the desire is. And if you are familiar with awakening, with non-duality, and the idea that all is one and everything is consciousness, and we are not these characters only, and we are, it's like the God has took like this, how can I say it? It's like a mask that God is playing us and seeing the world through us, our consciousness, and we are playing these human characters. And what we truly are, our true self, it's something we can't really tell what it is. There's only that, the knowing that I am, I exist, and beyond that we really can't know what that formless power is. But in the human level, the level we see through this body, mind, ego, it seems to me that the desire is born about from some lack in the past. So I have started to notice that the ego, the separate self, seems to be the kind of protective part what has been born when there has been some situations you haven't been able to feel, and just maybe there hasn't been someone to hold you with your feelings or something, and there has been a split in consciousness, and there has been born a protective side, and that's the ego, the separate self, that's trying to protect, and it keeps creating same kind of situations again and again, because there has been those feelings that has not been felt and hold, and they are kind of stuck in the system, and it creates, manifests same kind of situations again and again, and until we can start to feel those feelings and notice those things. And it has been for this body mind that it's kind of those desires what has been really powerful has been dropping away. The identity has been dropping away, the idea what I really am. Sorry, so teasing my itching. So, like a relationship, for example, I now notice that the desire to have a relationship, kind of some special person, has been because the person has been, it's like it has been felt familiar, and it's like the ego is trying to find the same kind of situation what feels familiar, and then it has been that I have been found myself in the same kind of situations, and I haven't been feeling those feelings, unmet needs or something underneath there not to be seen or not to felt safe. And those things actually haven't needed any big trauma underneath. If you look closely those situations, the mind, like a little child, when, for example, the little child is scared that there is some scary things under the bed, and maybe there's no one coming there to tell you that, okay, let's see together, and it's okay that you feel afraid, and somebody kind of like holds that feeling with the child. The feeling doesn't get expressed and it doesn't go through, it gets stuck, and there comes a feeling that your feelings are not right. They are, you learn to suppress the feelings, and that just keeps those coming again and again. There might be a need inside that you might have wished that there would have been someone to just hold you and tell you that everything is okay and you're safe. And if that hasn't happened, there might be that there is a desire arising to feel that safety, and underneath there is the feeling that you are not safe, or you are not noticed, seen, heard, or appreciated. And then we desire the situations. The mind kind of creates ideas that if I will be rich, then I will be important. And underneath there might be that there's a feeling of not being felt to be important. Or there might be that there's some special person to be with, and it feels familiar, and it's kind of like the ego is trying to fix that situation, like that if I get that person to love me, then it fixes that earlier situation that has happened. And if there's like a feeling that desire to be famous, it might be that there is a feeling of feeling like that, then the desire that then I would be important and then I would be loved. And it might be that there comes some kind of success with that, and then the people might like you because what you do to be famous, but not still noticing that person underneath there, the little child who wants just to be noticed and loved. And the mind creates that kind of, there is some kind of protector, and it keeps manifesting those same kind of situations. And I wanted to speak about the desire. So for me, many has been like desire has been dropping out. It like they are not so must have things anymore, and even have been noticing that many things I have desired has been really not the things I really wanted. There has been the feeling I have been wanting, and when I have gone inside within, I have started to find it from the world in another way. There's so much love when you watch, and there's pets and there's kind people in the world, and it kind of have started to feel so much that the love comes from everywhere. So there is no need anymore to just hang on some one special person to get the love, or just to be successful, to be important, because when noticing that there's underneath the feeling of not being important, and then you notice, you see that with awareness, that there is the sense of not being enough, or not being feeling like you're not useful, and that's the reason you desire the success, or I have been desiring. So when you see those things, that why I have been, sorry, I speak all about me and you, and it's my language, it's hard to tell, but when it's like, when you start to see that why you want the things you want, why I wanted things I wanted, and when it's clearly seen that there is some unmet need, so then it's also seen that the thing what has been desired, it's not the answer. The answer is to feel what has been missing, and it's not coming from outside. It comes from awareness, to seeing what is playing there. I don't say you shouldn't desire, want something you want, but when you see why you want these things, and it's so clear that there is something behind, old experience, the power of that desire doesn't hold anymore. It sets seen through. There starts to come the wholeness, that you already was loved and lovable, and when you know who you truly are, there comes to knowing that you are whole and complete, have always been. But there are those feelings in the system, unfelt feelings, and they manifest, and it really, really can make life hard. But it starts to get better when you feel those feelings. Feelings are sensations, and if you don't add story to those feelings, you feel those feelings in the body, the sensations, what is there, and you don't go to the mind, to the story, thinking at the same time why this feeling is here. Then you can feel it, but if you're feeling the feeling and immediately you're going to your head thinking that with mind, the feeling doesn't get felt. Some say that you don't have to feel those. I don't know, does really anybody say, sorry. But I tell about my experience now. That when those feelings are felt, it makes being easier. It's kind of not like bypassing, just to be the formless awareness watching. But if the feelings are there, still playing out those patterns, I feel it's easier to feel those feelings than just trying to tell that it doesn't matter, that it's just an illusion, but it's still experience. Today I felt like if you don't feel those feelings and notice where they come from, and then you try to glue there some new beliefs with repeating affirmations, I think it's easier to just feel those original feelings. And when you see how they have been formed, maybe really simple things, it doesn't need a bad trauma to mind to create that kind of feelings that I'm not important if somebody as a child didn't notice me when being busy or something. The mind might make an idea that I'm worthless, I have no value, and then if we try to make those affirmations that I'm valuable, I'm valuable, I'm valuable, I'm valuable, I'm valuable, it's easier when you see how the belief has formed, and you see that maybe there hasn't even been anything really bad underneath that. It's the mind has made that decision idea. It kind of drops away, and you don't need to put there some affirmations or try to hold on that power that I am and I'm perfect, and then kind of trying to ignore the thing, the 3D, what is playing out there. Just if you just feel those feelings and see where they come from. I don't know, is it called healing work, but it's kind of that, but I don't know, is it integration? Just seeing when the consciousness have kind of split, that there is something hard, and then there is the protector side born, and the ego is actually just trying to keep us safe. Yeah, we are not those egos only. There's only consciousness, and there is this form and all the forms, and what we truly are is formless. But here still is seemingly this 3D so happening. So it's easier to be when the feelings are not avoided. One big thing what helped was just noticing that the belief that, or tendency to just only always feel good, that if there is so-called bad feelings, it's not okay. But when you notice that isn't those not so comfortable feelings also welcomed, and if there is not, sometimes there's good days and sometimes there's not so good days, and it's so much relief if you don't have to resist those negative feelings so much. Of course, if it's negativity all the time, it might start to feel like that's not nice, but it's about when we resist those feelings, what arises, then they get stuck. And then they create more of that to be noticed, to be seen. And yeah, I'm repeating. But the desire, that was the idea now. So the underneath the desire, there's something like some felt hurt underneath that often, and an attempt to try to fix that, to feel better. And maybe there is under that we have not felt the original feeling of that, some kind of lack, and we resist feeling that, and there comes the desire to fix that feeling, so that new thing would help us feel that we don't have to feel that feeling underneath, that feeling worthless or something. If we become really popular, for example, we think we can avoid feeling that underneath deep feeling of not being enough. Yeah, we are all enough, I tell you that. But the mind has made that decision, and somewhere on the road, and then it just keeps expressing itself. But we are whole and complete. I feel it's easier when we still, because we're playing this game here, that we feel these human feelings also, so they don't get stuck in the system. What do you think about that? Okay, I wanted to share this. So see you again. I love you so much. Bye.